Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad 𝐃𝐨. That's Tyson 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐜. We continue with our divisional previews. We're just coming off the AFC South. We're going to go AFC South, NFC South, and we're going to figure out from there going between the AFC and the NFC. The NFC South's an interesting division, and Tyson and I were talking about it. I think we're going to have some differing opinions here, maybe not on who we think is going to win. So how we're going to do it, folks, so you didn't listen to our AFC South preview. We're going to preview the conference a little bit, talk about the winners, and then go into each individual team to kind of wrap things up with our closing thoughts. So, Tyson, this is how it sets up. This is how FanDuel thinks it's going to play out. Tampa Bay Bucks are your favorite at plus 100. Atlanta Falcons second, plus 210. Carolina Panthers plus 410. And the New Orleans Saints all the way down there at plus 1,300 to win this division, which I don't think surprises anybody. It looks like it's a two-horse race on paper. Where are you leaning here?
I would agree that it's a two-horse race. Like, where am I leaning for who to win the division?
Yes, I want to hear you say it.
The Bucks.
Oh, come on.
No, I said when we were talking before, I said, like, the Falcons can win this division. But, like, I'm on Tampa. Like, that's what I think is going to happen. We'll see. Anything – when you have those playmakers that they have in Atlanta, like, they might be able to score a bunch of points, and they might – to sneak by, because we kind of forget about the part of the season where they were leading the NFC South for most of it. And then Kirk Cousins is horrible and throwing 4 or 5 interceptions a game. Go turn on Quarterback on Netflix if you want to relive that. Just crazy, by the way. It was like, this is so unfortunate to have this whole thing talked about.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I'm on the Bucks, dude. They have guys that, again, know how to – this is a group that's won a lot of football games together.
Really good coach, too. I know Todd Bowles, it didn't work out with the New York Jets, but since he's taken over for Bruce Arians, he's a solid coach, man. And Baker Mayfield continues to get better. But Liam Cohen's gone, Tyson. Another offensive coordinator change here for Baker Mayfield. And we all know Baker is limited, right? The wide receiver core is elite. Mike Evans going to go for history again. You got more rookies, more elite playmakers. Like, everything on paper is awesome on offense. We know the defense is probably going to be solid under Todd Bowles. It's all about Baker Mayfield. So I think if you really want to take a shot here, and Tyson was talking about he really wants to take the Falcons. So if you're sitting here and you're looking at Michael Penix and you think he'd be the truth, and we'll get into this. It's not like the Falcons are any slouches on offense. And Raheem Morris, this is his second time being head coach. The defense, can he get it whipped into shape? He learned from his mistakes in the last time. That's what you hope, at least.
They got a couple guys that combined weigh 400 pounds to play the edges.
Yeah, that is tough. But the operational aspect in the front office is something that we've taken multiple shots at because we think they're kind of slappy. But when you get on the field, they got talent, Tyson.
They got a bunch of it. This is going to sound crazy, but I don't think Carolina should be buried. I just don't. Because this is the thing about the NFC South is, like, if you look at the Bucs schedule, the front half is loaded. They might be sitting 500 or close to it with, like, 6 weeks left. And that's just kind of the way this division goes. Like, unless it's Drew Brees winning 13 games or it's Matt Ryan winning 13 games, like, this is going to be something wonky. And what if Tedderell McMillan is awesome? And it just unlocks something in this offense. The defense gets a little better. Chuba Hubbard keeps running the ball. Let's talk about him.
Let's get into the Saints first, and we're not going to dive too much in there. But, new head coach, Dennis Allen's no longer there. I think a lot of people are saying, ding dong, the witch is dead. Kellen Moore comes in, and it feels, 5 years late compared to the fast track that this guy was on. But here's the issue. Who's going to play quarterback? Because it's not been pretty with Tyler Shuck. Spencer Rattler, this is a high pedigree guy on the prep circuit and got beat out at Oklahoma. Went to South Carolina, was fine. It looked okay for the same. Like, is that really the future there? And Shuck, it's not like you're like, well, he's 21. The guy's like 25. Like, if he can't play immediately, you're in trouble here. So that's where all the issues stem from. If you're the Saints, and you still have Chris Olave, you bring in Brandon Cooks. Okay, Rashid Shaheed has been sick. That's like a guy people know because of betting and fantasy and stuff. Like, he's been awesome. Tyson, there's just not a lot of talent across the board here for the Saints, which is the scariest thing.
This is Jake Haener erasure, and I won't stand for it. Dude, I think he's probably going to play.
He might, dude. Like, what?
He's probably going to start a game for the Saints. I think that the New Orleans Saints have a chance to be the worst team in the NFL, and it's tough, dude. The defense was like you talked about the offense, and I agree with a lot, like most of that or all of it. The defense was horrible. They were 28th against the pass, 30th against the run a year ago. Now, points per game wise, they were able to not kind of, it was like 24 points a game. It was like 18th in the NFL. Not, where you would expect somebody with those metrics to finish. But the cavalry didn't arrive for this defense. Dennis Allen is gone. Like, what is Kellen Moore's staff going to look like? It's not necessarily, a group that you can point at each position group and go, well, there's a guy here and a guy here and a guy here. And for the ones that there are, they're 40. Like, that's the thing with this New Orleans Saints team.
Brandon Staley's your defensive coordinator, Tyson.
Yeah.
Now, he was a terrible head coach. Can he run a defense? That's what you're banking on here for Kellen Moore. I'll handle the offense, Brandon Staley. You handle the defense.
If the Saints have an Aaron Donald type player, then Brandon Staley's getting another head coaching job.
Brian Bresee, maybe. Davon
Don't
Godchaux.
These poor guys. They're not gonna. They can't be Aaron Donald. But I think they're gonna stink, dude. And I think it's just another year where the Saints should go into full rebuild. The over/under is 5.5. Here's a little just schedule action for you, Brad.
Please.
Did they beat the Cardinals?
No.
Did they beat the 49ers?
No.
The Bills?
Nope.
Patriots?
Nope.
Bears?
No.
Rams?
No.
Did they beat the Finns?
Maybe.
Where do they go in division?
That division's rough. Wonky, I should say, for predictions, but they're not better than the Bucs. They're not better than the Falcons, and I think they're not better than the Panthers.
That's if they go 2-4, what you just said puts them at 6 wins. So then they have to go undefeated against the Seahawks, Giants, Jets, and Titans, and they have to win that Dolphins game. It's not happening.
No, the problem is too. Like everybody's going to talk about this, and tank for Arch Manning. We don't even know if he's coming out.
Why not?
The Mannings, how many? They stayed all 4 years, right? Like both Eli and Peyton for sure. Eli did too.
Dude, Archie is literally out here saying like he's going to stay all 4. Like, and people are like, he might come out and it's going to be Colts and Saints and it's going to be so cool. They're telling us no.
They're telling us no. So I think if you're the Saints, you're going to get what you can out of this. But you're going to need a quarterback at some point. Maybe tank next year. But I think it's going to be a rough year for Kellen Moore. Tyson already went over the win total. I'm not touching anything regarding that. I mean, 4.5 minus 150 for the over here on DraftKings. No, thank you. I'm good on that. Let's get into the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people buried Bryce Young. Tyson and I, we came out and said, and we put our stamp on it, Bryce Young was QB1 in the draft class with CJ Stroud when we were coming out. That's looked wrong for now. It probably look wrong for the end of time because CJ Stroud looks awesome. But Bryce Young quietly, while people think, well, he stinks, he can't do this, he was really good down the stretch last year, like throwing the ball deep down the field, being accurate, putting the balls on those horrible receivers where only they can catch it. I mean, it was ridiculous. And not a lot of people watch the Panthers, so this is going unnoticed. So I think that's the momentum that Bryce Young needed. He needed confidence. I think he got it last year. We got another season under Dave Canales. Like you said off the top, we got Tetairoa McMillan. What's your sense about the Carolina Panthers heading into the season?
They can be a much better football team and have it not translate to winning that many more games. And I think that's going to blow people's minds. Dude, this defense, like I said, the Saints were awful. The Panthers were the worst in the league. Like it was 30 points a game, 400 yards a game. Like everybody was running on them, and you could do whatever you wanted if you played the Carolina Panthers last year, and that's the way it went. So if that defense is a little better, like they brought in a ton of guys, Warden, Bobby Brown, Patrick Jones, Morig, drafted Scorton from A&M. If that unit takes a step forward, like a big one would be 24th in the league. And I don't know if they're going to win 8 games if that happens, but I think they could be a lot better.
Right.
The one thing that got lost in the whole Bryce Young getting benched and then coming back thing is like the impact that has on the locker room of a guy that is just like that mentally tough, and he's able to just, hey, I'm going to put that thing behind me, and like if Xavier Legette hauls in a pass, I beat the foot off the Eagles. I went 99 yards to do it. Like that. Those are things that happened last year, and they bring in a guy that you and I both love. I think Chuba Hubbard's awesome. I think that this team is if everything clicks, they might win 9 games. But don't be surprised if they win 5, and don't be upset if that's the case. I think this is a longer deal.
There's a ton that they have to work on, right? And they have the strategy of we're going to draft all defense, and then they flipped it to all offense, right? It's an interesting strategy. We know David Tepper is fiery or crazy. I don't even put it lightly. We've taken shots at the guy because, dude, what in the world? They went 5-12 last year. Like you said, they probably should have beat the Eagles. They should have beat the Chiefs. So that's 7 wins. And we're talking about the Panthers, they were the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Their defense was atrocious. You're going to tell me that offense last year was good enough to win 7 games in this league? That's a building block. So I'm with you. I'm way more bullish on the Panthers than a lot of people. It's going to come down to the defense. And that's where you're at here. I'm confident that Dave Canales can scheme something he's proven to be a really good offensive mind. Now, how good of a head coach is he? That's what we got to figure out. But if we're focusing on Bryce Young and his development, Canales and bringing in Tedros McMillan, I don't think Jimmy Horn's a difference maker by any means, but that's another weapon for him. That's a great start to me.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Closing out here. Now, you mentioned the win total, 6.5 here on DraftKings, -130 juice for the over. Any lean there? I mean, it seems like you can kind of see some thing. You can see some different outcomes for the Panthers.
I think 6 is right on the money. That's why they do what they do in Vegas. But do they beat the Cardinals? Probably not. Patriots, we'll see. Dolphins, we'll see. Cowboys, we'll see. Bills, probably not. Packers, probably not. 49ers, probably not. Rams, probably not. What do they go in division? There's a chance that it's tough. It just is.
Atlanta Falcons. So it's Michael Penix's show. And it's not Bijan Robinson. It's Bijan, folks.
Bijan.
I sent this to Tyson. I was I'm so pissed that I saw this because now I have to pronounce him Bijan. Tyson knows I'm just weird with names. If it's hey, this is our pronunciation. I'm all right, I guess I got to pronounce it this way. So Bijan Robinson. This,
how's it feel?
We're making fun of him, Tyson. Leonard Floyd, James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker, and Arnold 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐾. Those are your defensive ends, dude. They're so thin on the edge, but can Raheem Morris scheme something up? That's the main question I have. It's always the defense with the Falcons. They have the weapons on offense. I think they're going to be pretty good. I thought Zach Robinson showed well enough last year. You have one quarterback that you're going to go with now, and you're going to have your system. It's probably going to be more explosive, but it's just the defense for me. That's where I'm at with the Falcons.
Well, that defense better hit because they don't have a pick because they gave it up to get James Pierce. And this is now you have to make the playoffs. That's what you've done to yourself. That is what happened. Look at the New Orleans Saints, dude. The Jalen Carter pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. That was the New Orleans Saints draft pick that they gave up because they went all in and they were wrong. And the Falcons run the risk of doing that here because that defense let them down just as much as Kirk Cousins did a year ago. I think that the offense is going to be better. Drake London, to me, has a chance to be 7 to 10 range probably in the NFL amongst wide receivers, and he might already be there. He was awesome with Michael Penix a year ago. Bijan Robinson is poised to – everyone thinks that he's going to become the best running back in the league, and now he's got to do it because I love this guy, and I've loved him since his Texas days, but there's some really good backs, and if he can get to the tippy top of that, then you're cooking with gas, and I think that's a huge deal. I think they're going to push the Bucs, man. I do
too. My concern is, and I'm with you on Drake London. This is both of our wide receiver ones in the draft class when he came out because the talent is there and he's got the body, he's got the look, he has the hands, he's athletic, but he's injury prone, man. And I'm looking at this depth chart. So who's behind Drake London? Kadero Hodge, man. Chris Blair, David Sills. On the other side, they already have who? I'm sorry. Yeah, they had Casey Washington. Yeah. DJ Chark, who's been hurt the past 3 years, it feels like. There's just now. I mean, Darnell Mooney, I think with Penix, it could help out here.
He's hurt right now, too.
He is hurt right now. So this is already a thin wide receiver group. Do you know what that screams to me, Tyson? And you're going to hate this. Kyle Pitts has got to step up, man. He's got to be the guy.
To the moon, dude. Well, we'll see. I mean, like the excuses have been built in for him for a long time. Like the uncatchable target rate is genuinely like, what in the world is going on?
First.
But like some of that is, hey man, it's been like 4 years now where you lead the league in uncatchable target rate. Maybe these routes suck. Like maybe the quarterback's throwing the ball where it's supposed to be, and you're just not where you're supposed to be. That's kind of what it screamed to me. It's do or die now. Maybe Kyle Pitts is the DeAndre Ayton of the NFL, Brad. Maybe
he might be. He might be. That there's a good chance of that.
He might ball out. He might want to get paid.
They went 8-9 last year. You would think that they're going to have a better season than that, right? I mean, year 2 of your head coach. Now you're basically running a rookie out there, so that's the concern, I think. But the ceiling right now for where Penix is compared to Kirk Cousins at this stage of his career, it's got to be higher. I mean, Kirk Cousins coming off a torn Achilles, for Christ's sake, like it's a death sentence, especially at that age. Over under 7.5 minus 140 to the over here on DraftKings. So,
let me walk
basically
you through this
suggesting, please.
I think that this is going to maybe inform you of some things come betting time. What did they go in division? Let's say they split with Carolina, 1-1, and they split with the Bucs. We'll call that 2-2, and they sweep the Saints. We'll call that
so 4-2.
4-2 in the division. They're going to beat the Colts.
Yeah, they should.
And then they're probably going to beat the Jets, and they're probably going to beat the Seahawks. They probably are going to beat the Vikings, or it'll be close with the Vikings. And then you just got to get one against Washington, Buffalo, San Francisco, Miami, New England, Arizona, or the Rams. And that's 9 wins. That's
a lot of runway. Because you only need 8 wins to go over the over-under.
And that, to me, that's where this number is kind of like, with the way their schedule looks, there's a chance that you're dancing. They could win 8 games and then you miss the playoffs and you still hit your number.
And that's what happened last year. They missed the playoffs last year at 8-9, and you hit your number. This team should be better than they were last year. Let's just be honest. It was a disaster at some points for the Falcons. So
if they don't win the division, do they make the playoff?
No, I think the NFC is too stacked. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be the same thing as last year, where you got 2 teams from the NFC East, the winner in the NFC West, and then the 3 NFC North teams. That's how I see it. And then the winner of the NFC South.
Everyone wants.
You're not sold on the Vikings.
Again. I'm just not. Look, man, if j.j. McCarthy's awesome, that's great. Show me.
You know me. I'm a believer in Stefanski. Not Stefanski. Good God. Kevin O'Connell. I think he might be the best coach in the league. He's unbelievable.
I think he's awesome too. But I also. Something to be said, man, when you get pantsed a couple times on national television to end the season, and what that does to a locker room as far as they were tough, they were physical, and then they weren't, and it was bad.
Well, that's an interesting point on the Falcons. I think that if you're kind of reading through the lines here, I think Tyson and I both are viewing that over. I think we might take a shot on to win the division. But let's finish with the favorite here, the Tampa Bay Bucs. They went 10-7 last year. We kind of talked about them. New change for Baker, man. And so that's what I can't get past, because I'm thinking about this. So has Baker really turned the corner? So you go from Canales, and he's like, okay, that was the resurrection of his career. But you bring in Liam Cohen, and Liam Cohen's been awesome. It's like, okay, that helps. That helps. So now you're going to another guy here, Tyson, which I'm pulling this up here. Josh Grizzard. Are we sure? Does anybody know? And he could be awesome. He could be a wonderkind. I don't know, but we're banking on a plus 100 favorite and on a guy named Josh Grizzard, who does anybody know about? That's the holdup I have here.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's fair, but I would say skill position player wise, he's going to be fine. They got a lot of dudes, man. And then you bring in 𝐼𝐵UKA, Chris Godwin's on the PUP right now. He's probably going to miss the first 4-6 weeks or whatever it is. And then he's going to be back. He's getting paid a lot of money on a 3-year contract. He's going to play. Mike Evans is healthy. 𝐼𝐵UKA's awesome. And then, I'm not going to fantasy football bury Jalen McMillan. Real football, I think he was awesome to end last season. And they went out and they got 𝐼𝐵UKA because they needed somebody else too. We make fun of the Jags for grabbing receivers, but it's cool when the Bucs do it. On defense, Hassan Reddick, let's see. I think that could be something because there were games that gave up too many points, and they can't do that this year. But the toys are shiny. Bucky Irving is everybody's favorite player in the NFL.
I know it's stacked. Mike
Sean
Evans,
Tucker.
Jalen McMillan, yeah, Sean Tucker, your boy, Trey Palmer. Listen, we're making fun of Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson's here. He can play a little football. 𝐸𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐿, as you named, Sterling Shepard. I mean, he got passes last year. Raheem Jarrett, he was big for the Falcons a few years ago. Like, it is Chris Godwin, he's going to come back. It's an embarrassment of riches on the offense. It's just, can Baker Mayfield be the guy, man? And that's the question. He's been the guy for the past 2 years for the Bucs. Feels like this is a better personality fit for him. We'll see what happens here, but I'm with you. It feels like they should be the favorites. I'm just not sure if they're going to actually win the division or not.
Yeah, it's just first 7 games they catch Atlanta, Houston, the Jets, the Eagles, Seahawks, Niners, and Detroit. Like that's 4-3, 5-2, probably best case scenario. And then if they start 5-2, like that's awesome. But then like Pats, Bills, Rams, like they could be sitting close to 500 by the time it's go time, which we saw them do last year and win the division. So
right,
it wouldn't be unfamiliar territory, but they're front loaded as heck.
Their schedule, or their over/under, over is 9.5. Over is -105. Under -115. That's an interesting number for me.
They got to be the best team in this division. This happened.
They're plus 100 for a reason to win this division. So I mean, you would. I mean, rightfully so. Probably, I think if you want to attack them, as we get into our closing thoughts here, you would attack them with the Falcons, right? Like if you think the Bucs are vulnerable, I think the Falcons are in place to be a pop team. And it's a belief in Michael Penix. It's a belief in those weapons too, because while they're not as deep, it's health for sure. And a defense that you're relying on Raheem Morris to take to the next level. But this division, to me, it's a 2-horse race, however you want to look at it. I think the Carolina Panthers could be a surprise team. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. I think they're going to be better than they were last year, at least from a football standpoint. I'm not sure about the record, but it's Bucs or Falcons here.
Yeah, I think no doubt. I would love Carolina to shake things up. The Saints have no shot at this thing. It's one of those divisions, man.
Okay, let's get out of here. Like, subscribe, and share the show. Thank you guys for listening as we start diving into some football stuff and get you ready for the preseason, or get you ready for the start of the season, I should say, as we're right around the corner. We got week 0 coming around the corner. So if you're listening to this over the weekend or the start of the week is when we put it out, we're going to have our first betting episode of the year officially, where we're putting down game picks. So that is huge. That's why you got to stay subscribed so you don't miss a single thing we do. Smash the like button on the way out. Share it with a friend. Share it with an enemy. Let's get this thing rolling for football season. We appreciate all you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.